Perfect square trinomials. When a binomial is squared, the result is the first term squared added to double the product of both terms and the last term squared. So here we have two formulas. The first formula is the difference, so x minus a squared, which is the same thing as expanding it to x minus a times x minus a, which would then become the form x squared minus 2ax plus a squared. The sum of those two terms squared is x plus a times x plus a, which would equal x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. Now, given a binomial, square it using the formula for perfect square trinomials. First part, we're going to square the first term of the binomial. Number 2, square the last term of the binomial. Number 3, for the middle term of the trinomial, we're going to double the product of the two terms. And number 4, we're going to add and simplify. So in example number 6, we're expanding perfect squares. So we're going to expand 3x minus 8 squared. So we're going to begin by squaring the first term and the last term for the middle term of the trinomial, and then double the product of the two terms. So we first need to identify which form it's in. Well, we know it's in the subtraction form. So we're going to use the first formula, which is x minus a squared, which is equal to x minus a times x minus a, which is x squared minus 2ax plus a squared. Now, if we take a look at the first term here, which is x, well, that represents 3x. So x is actually 3x. And then we can see that a is 8. And so again, we're going to use this form here and substitute our values in for what x is and what a is into that form. So we're going to plug in for x to be 3x, and then we're going to square it. Minus 2, we know that a is 8, we know that x is 3x, plus negative 8 squared. So we squared 3x squared, which is 9x squared, minus 2 times 3 times 8, which is 48x, plus negative 8 squared is 64. In the next example, we have the sum. So we're going to use the sum formula. So we can see here that the value of x is x, and the value of is a is 5. So we end up with x, using x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. Plugging in x here, we square it to get x squared, plus 2 times a, which is 5, times x, which was the value of x, we get 10x, plus 5 squared, which is 25. Next, we have 4x minus 1. So the value of x, meaning the first term, is 4x. The value of the second term is 1, so therefore a is equal to 1. And then we're using the subtraction form. So 4x squared minus 2 times 1 times 4x plus 1 squared gives us a result of 16x squared minus 8x plus 1. Now, we could use the FOIL method in this scenario. We can use the box method in this scenario. We can use a distributive method. But the key here is that the reason why perfect square trinomials, the form exists is because it's a shorter way of being able to get your result, because it's a special product, and we want to keep a close eye on those to make our math a little quicker.